Hey. So I may or may not be about to go spend some money. I actually haven't gone book shopping or spent money on books, I think, quite frankly, in months at this point. And I can fact check myself. If that's not true, it is what it is. But it feels like I haven't bought any new books in a long time. I think, since my birthday. Okay, I think the last time I bought new books was for my birthday in March. So at the very least, it's been 2 months. I think it's been 2 months. I don't think I bought myself any books in that time. Like, I don't think I've gone book thrifting. I haven't found anything at little free libraries. I haven't gone full price book shopping for sure. So I realized when I was picking my July TBR, doing my TBR jar, you know, the standard practice yesterday or 2 days ago or whenever that was, I was sorely lacking in the new exciting book department, and there have been so many new releases I've been really excited about and I've been putting off buying because I was really trying to stop myself from continuing to spend money on new books when, first of all, I was just not needing to be spending money in general, but second of all, I was really trying to focus on reading for my physical TBR, which I've been doing a really good job of. Like, I'm still reading at a slower pace than I would like to be, but I have been doing a really good job, not to, you know, but I've been doing a really good job of reading for my physical TBR. And I think at the very least, I can buy myself 2 new books without a guilty conscience, at the very least. And I was given a gift card to one of my local bookstores as like a belated birthday present. So right now, I'm about to go to Barnes with my roommate. We're gonna see what happens there because my parents did renew their membership. So I do have my discount back there, which is really nice because I didn't have that for a second there. So we're just gonna go poke around there for a second. I have a couple things in mind that I'm looking for there. And then at some point in the next couple of days, we're also probably going to go Village Well for the spending of the gift card. So anyways, I'm really excited. I haven't gone book shopping in so long. I'm breaking my self-imposed book ban today. So thought I'd take you with me. Okay. I think I waited too long for the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. I wanted the one that had the art on the inside, so really tragic.
Ooh. Ooh.
I also don't know if Village Well has it in stock, you know? But maybe I'll wait.
I would definitely get it at Village since it's $30 basically.
Ah, nuts.
It's cute though.
But do I get something else here?
Yeah.
Like, do I get something else paperback?
Yeah.
I think maybe so.
I think so too.
This cover is like pretty.
I
The
like
fiction
her.
section is always.
She's giving.
New Alley Hazelwood.
It's my girl.
It's age gap romance.
I don't know how I feel about that. But I'm gonna eat it up probably.
I
really
love a yellow
pretty.
font. You slap a yellow font on a cover,
And it's gonna do
you
something.
best believe I will be pointing at it and say, yeah, I love that.
I
you know
wanna read
what?
that one.
Whoever came up with that wow, what
That's
an
the
eye
one.
for design they have. I love that.
And we'll take her.
I only got one book because we have to go home to watch Love Island.
Love Island's on.
We have to flee. We have to go home. But I will be going somewhere else. Never fear.
More books to be bought.
More books to be bought. Don't you worry. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's a different day, and I know I haven't even talked to you about what book I bought at Barnes, although I'm pretty sure I showed you, so that is what it is. But I have the itch now. Like, I have to keep purchasing things. So, yeah, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna happen too. Nothing might come of this. But I am about to pop into the thrift store. I used to find stuff at this thrift store specifically all the time. I haven't had luck like the last like 6 or 7 times I've come, so this might be fruitless. However, the odds might be in my favor today. So I figured I have my camera with me, might as well take you guys with me. And if I happen to find some books, like I have been actively not looking at the book section when I go thrifting, or only taking books that I know I'm actively interested in, and that still stands. Like I'm still only gonna take something if I know I'm gonna read it like sooner rather than later, but I will be looking. So okay, let's go inside. Me walking away with 2 recs from Lexi, Julie Nova, and a book that I just discovered for the first time today. Yeah, that tracks. So, I allowed things to spiral a smidge out of control. Oh my god, not the cat hair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I ended up purchasing 7 books between the time that I started this video and me sitting here speaking to you now. So, luckily I have finished 2 already. I really opened the floodgates with this one, I fear, because I bought the first book and I was reminded what it feels like to allow myself the hit of dopamine from purchasing a book. And there was no going back, unfortunately. So I don't even know that I realized I had like a self-imposed book buying ban going on until I allowed myself to not have one anymore. And it was really eye-opening, I'm gonna be honest. Also, I am sick. Really unfortunate because this week I had little to no plans on the docket and I was really planning on getting on top of things because I'm going out of town next week and I was like feeling so good about it. I was filming multiple vlogs, I had multiple sit-down videos planned, the wrap up for this video included, and then I got really sick and I'm only just now feeling well enough to talk about these books and let you know what I purchased. Even though you've already seen quite a few of them, but I want to tell you what they're about. So I'm really sorry that I sound like this and that you're gonna have to listen to me talk like this for the next however many minutes. I'm gonna try and keep it as brief as possible. As we know, famous last words for me. I can talk, unfortunately. But trust me, this is better than it has been all week. So bear with me because every once in a while I do start coughing and I can't stop. So, okay. Let's get started. So first of all, One Golden Summer by Miss Carly Fortune, which of course I have already read and I loved her. Wait, why do I feel like you guys already know that I read this? Do you already know that I read this? Or am I completely making that up? Oh, you do already know that I read this. It was in my mid-year book tag. Yeah, I ate this up. To no one's surprise. First of all, I'm a lake girl through and through, over the beach any day. I love the lake. Give me a lake summer romance. Yeah, you've already got me 80% of the way there. If you give me good characters, good banter, a believable connection, chemistry, something I can root for, like even just like 1 or 2 of those things, I will most likely be locked in. I'm a very easy sell when it comes to a lake summer romance. Or hey, no romance at all, just like really intense nostalgic or really intense summer vibes. Just like there's a lake. I'll probably still 5 stars. I'm maybe being a little extreme, but just know you have me like 80% of the way there already with your premise if you're doing summer lake. Anyways, wow, really great start on the concise, succinct, like to the point situation. Anyways, One Golden Summer by Miss Carly Fortune is an interconnected standalone situation with Every Summer After, which is her first book in this series. I don't know if it was her first book ever, but I think if I'm remembering correctly, it was her debut novel, which I read so long ago, but I remembered enough
from to pick up on the elements of it that are referenced in here, including the characters that we do see. PSA. So I would highly recommend reading that first before picking this one up. This is about the brother from that book, so would highly recommend. Really good vibes overall. I really loved the characters. I loved the romance setup. There's like a bucket list, like a summer bucket list situation involved. There's a grandmother. There's just really good dynamics overall. Conflict was believable, which for me, yeah, believable conflict, interpersonal conflict, internal conflict. Anyways, really enjoyed this one. I know I'm giving you a book review even though in your reality I only bought this 2 seconds ago, but it's a 2-for-1 deal today, so. Anyways, book number 1. Okay, and then I'm trying to think what the sequence of events was here. Oh, I went randomly thrifted that one day. That's what it was. Okay. Towards the end of last year, it was getting to the point where I was only letting myself buy books from thrift stores if when I found them at the thrift store, I already had it on my mental or like Goodreads / Fable TBR. Like I already knew about it. I wanted to read it. It wasn't just something that I found and was like intrigued by it. Like it had to have already been on my radar because I had been doing so much book thrifting where I would purchase a book specifically with the intention of just filling my shelves, and then I would get it home and it would sit there for 6 months to a year, and I would hate looking at it on my shelf because I would convince myself that I was never gonna read it and I didn't know why I'd bought it, and then I would just end up cycling it into the little free library ecosystem, which like I love doing that and I love restocking little free libraries, but like in the last year or so I've been really trying to focus on my personal financial health and my personal finances, and the spending on books was getting a little excessive, so I was trying to reevaluate that a little bit. So the book thrifting was getting out of hand, and so I had reframed the book thrifting mindset. However, this year the overall book buying mindset has changed because I think I'm kind of focused more so on just broadening my reading horizons in general, and I don't want to just limit myself to books I've heard of and I'm already excited about, but I do still want to focus on just being intentional about only buying books that I read the back of, like I read the summary or I hear about and I get really excited about the content of the book specifically. It's not just I hear a one-off from somebody and they said they enjoyed the book and so I want to buy it. Like, it can't be that. I have to know what the book is about, the content of it specifically, and then buy it. Because it also happened to me so much at the beginning of my booktube career that I would buy a book without knowing what it was about, and then I would have it in my possession and read the summary and be like, oh, I actually don't think I'm gonna like this. Girl, what are we doing? So we're stopping that in its tracks. And so these, I made a concerted effort to be reading the summaries of the books that I was picking up in the thrift store to the point where I actually ended up putting back, I think, what is it called? A neighbor favor. And I do regret that now because I do think I would have enjoyed that reading experience. Not necessarily one that would have been like 4+5 stars. I do think I would have liked it, or there's a chance that I would have liked it. So I do kind of regret leaving that one behind, but there's nothing I can do about it now. Anyways, these two, they were already on my radar. I had just listened to Lexi, aka Newly Nova, talk about them in her book recs outside of your comfort zone video, and both of them sounded super interesting to me enough to where I had them fresh in my mind and recognized them immediately when I saw their covers in the bookstore and was super excited that I had found them. So that checked off my initial criteria of not just buying random books, and I was very, very excited about that. And then this one, I found it, loved the cover, forced myself to read the summary, and was like, I could actually really see myself picking this up soon and really enjoying it. So proud of myself for these book finds. It spiraled out of control later. So yeah. First of all, we have Into Thin Air by Jon Krakauer, which is the first book that I picked up on Lexi's recommendation from her video. Both of these books are actually nonfiction recs from her. I believe they're both categorized as memoirs. This one is about a group of people that attempted to climb Mount Everest, like got to the top, and then pretty sure there was like a crazy storm or something and they all got stuck up there, and Krakauer, who was a journalist, happened to have come up with them either to document it or just come along for the ride. So then he wrote a first-person account of everything that unfolded, both like on the way there and afterwards, and I believe he like included like profiles on all the people, etc., and apparently it reads a lot like a thriller in addition to being like a journalistic / like personal first-person account of what happened. Overall, just super intriguing because hey, you'd never catch me dead personally on Mount Everest or climbing an incredibly tall mountain and putting my life in danger like that, at least not at this point in my life. If one day you read a story about me on a mountain, that's none of my business personally. As of right now, you wouldn't catch me dead on a mountain like Mount Everest. So this is one of those, like, you know that TikTok sound that's like, I've lived a lot of lives, etc. This is a life that I will personally never live, and I'm really excited to like experience a first-hand account and therefore live it in my little pea brain, you know what I mean? So I was very excited to find this immediately after hearing her talk about it because incredibly interested. It's also just so interesting because like the way like the marketing of this book on the front and back, like on the front it says a personal account of the Mount Everest disaster, like as if this is like an event that was like an event, capital E. I have personally no recollection of this in like the world news sphere. It's just so funny because I wonder if like I asked my parents about it, if they would remember. I'm actually gonna ask them when I go home. So anyways, very excited about this one. I honestly kind of want to get to this one soon. I'm probably going to try it physically, but I'm also curious about the audiobook because I usually tend to go audiobook for memoirs. So yeah. Okay, and then we have Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Lori Gottlieb, which this is a memoir written by a therapist about her experience in therapy, like with her therapist, and then also with her patients as a therapist. Super intrigued to see, first of all, what the format of this is because I don't really understand how it's balanced. Like if it's just like little stories, like little anecdotes bouncing back and forth, if it's more like personal, like about her life, if we're getting it like reconstructed. Also very curious to see how she talks about her patients because I'm sure everyone gave consent to a certain extent. I'm sure maybe like names and details were changed, you know, HIPAA. But supposedly it's very emotional and also funny, I think. Yeah, one of the reviews is warm, funny, and engaging. The result is the most reliable portrait of a therapist I've yet encountered. Very curious about this one. I also love to laugh and to cry, so yeah. Okay, and then this is the one that I bought specifically because of the cover, mostly. Now I know that I said once upon a time in one video somewhere, you could probably dig it up and point at it if you wanted to, that I was gonna stop thrifting historical fictions because I always just gave them away. However, okay, this is The Good People by Hannah Kent. First of all, how could I pass that up? Okay, it's so pretty. It looks like a watercolor masterpiece. This little tagline, whatever you want to call this pull quote on the front of this book, it says, a literary novel with the pace and tension of a thriller. So there's that combo on the front. Second of all, I read the description and the more that I've learned like since kind of like poking around on Goodreads and Fable pages, this is a historical fiction that is based on true events of the time where in Ireland in the 19th century, it was incredibly common for people living in the country to become suspicious of children and think that fairies in the countryside had somehow tampered with their children, like stolen the children and replaced them with changelings or substitutes, like evil substitutes for their children. And then they would essentially deeply mistreat these children because they thought that they were evil beings that had taken the place of their children. These were like, that was like a real course of events that happened a lot in these villages in the 19th century in Ireland. And so that's incredibly interesting. I'm always very intrigued by the concept of folklore and its impact on cultures like in the past. I just struggle sometimes learning about it in a historical context. Like history was never really my thing in school. I really struggled to like pay attention. So if this is written with the tension of a thriller and it can hold my attention and I can learn a little bit about the historical context of this through obviously a fictional story structure, I understand that these are not real true events and people, etc., and liberties have been taken and whatnot. I think it would be incredibly interesting to learn about something that I had absolutely no context for before picking up this book. So that is why I went ahead and purchased it. I got really excited about it the more I read about it on Goodreads. It seems like this book does have its audience, so I'm weirdly very excited about this, which I feel like I haven't actually been genuinely excited for a historical fiction that I've thrifted in a long time. Yay. Okay, I'm pretty sure that what happened next is I went to Village Well one morning to just be productive and work, and then I happened to just be like, let me just go see if they have my book club book physically in the store, because last time I was here and I asked about it, they didn't have any copies in stock, and the bookseller was like, oh, we have like 4 on order, they're already spoken for, I'm sure we'll have some stock in soon. And I was like, okay. And I was considering going in sometime in the next few days after that to ask her to order a copy for me because I wanted a physical copy for book club purposes and I had a gift card. Anyways, I was poking around. I think I got a clip of it. There was one copy of The Favorites by Lane Fargo on the shelf. And I have already read this one as well because it was my book club book. However, book club was this week. After being postponed for multiple months, I got sick. I got sick. I had to push it. And now everyone has booked in busy weeks for the next however long, and it's my fault. My immune system's fault. I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, The Favorites by Lane Fargo is a contemporary fiction novel that mainly follows ice dancer Katarina Shaw on her journey to becoming an Olympic ice dancer from the time that she's a child all the way up towards the end of her career. And it's kind of told through like this retrospective documentary style situation. It's very reminiscent of the style of Daisy Jones and the Six, which I've never read all the way from front to back, so that is a very loose claim. I've watched the show, but it felt very much like that. A lot of the book is documentary style, a lot of the book is regular narration, and it was heavily marketed to me as like toxic romance, Olympic ice skaters, Taylor Jenkins Reid-esque contemporary fiction, I, Tanya, sort of. Yeah, so that was what my book club had in mind when we picked it. Obviously, I have read it. I'll spare you my thoughts, but that was a book that I did pick up in the sequence of events in which this spiraled out of control, because I was hoping to actually like document this in the book buying portion of this vlog. I just happened to stumble upon it, and I couldn't stop myself from buying it because I wanted it for book club and a reading vlog. So that was book number 5. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember buying this one. Like, I don't remember specifically when or where I got this. I know I thrifted it, but I don't know when or where. Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, which I have known about for a long time. Remember Maddie? I feel like she told me once upon a time that her brother read it maybe, and she had a copy of it, I think. Anyways, I've known about its existence for a long time, and oh, I remember the context for this. Okay, reason that I bought this, I was out thrifting with my friends on the 4th of July, I think actually, and my favorite thrift store was having like a $1 media sale, and so I went to the book section, obviously just to see if there was anything I recognized, and I was like, since it's $1, if there's anything I recognize, might as well just get it for myself, why not? There was this, and I did have a debate of if I needed it or not, but realistically, I have not read that much sci-fi. I've read 3 sci-fi books, and that's it, and sci-fi is one of my dad's favorite genres. I feel like this is one of those in the genre that almost everyone that is a fan of the genre has read. It's not necessarily a favorite of theirs or something that they would say is like one of the best in the genre by any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely something that everyone can reference, I guess. I want to be able to like have the same frame of reference for the genre, and it was only $1. Again, I opened the floodgates with this, clearly. And in this last one, I have been in such a mystery thriller horror mood for the last like, I don't know, 3-4 months now. I have not been reading that much, but when I have wanted to pick up a thriller or a horror more often than not. I feel like that's par for the course for me because usually I just want something bingeable. Horror is new, but like mystery thriller, par for the course. This book, even more par for the course because I love something charming, I love a quirky character, I love something where there's probably gonna be elements of found family or real family or something endearing, quirky, silly, goofy, fun time. I also love a mystery. So I saw this at a thrift store that I recently discovered in my area that I've known that thrift store existed for as long as I have lived here. I did not know that their book section was 50-cent paperbacks, $1 hardcovers. So now that I know that, that's incredibly dangerous. I've already gone back there multiple times and looked through the book section. But I think this is the first one that I've purchased there. Regardless, not good for me. Really scary, actually. Anyways, this is Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto. Yeah. A lonely shopkeeper takes it upon herself to solve a murder in the most peculiar way in this captivating mystery by Jessie O. Sutanto, best-selling author of Dial A for Aunties, which I also have recently been hearing a lot of really glowing reviews about. Specifically, I think Lottie read it recently, and her review on Goodreads had me taking notes, okay? I was like, oh, this sounds right up my alley. Anyways, this is about shopkeeper Vera Wong, who is an older lady who lives above a tea shop, and she loves sleuthing, she loves detective work, you know, keeping up with cases online, etc., etc. And then one morning, a dead man shows up in the middle of her tea shop, and instead of calling the cops, she starts investigating it herself. And then along the way, she begins to form friendships with her customers and start to care for each and every one of them. As a protective mother hen, will she end up having to give one of her newfound chicks to the police? God forbid, God forbid. Flawless, laugh-inducing, heartwarming, and fabulously crafted, truly a joy to read. Heartwarming, charming, and laugh out loud funny. Yeah, I bought it. 50 cents. Sue me. So. Anyways, all that to say, did I know we were gonna end up here when I filmed that random clip in my living room saying, I think I'm gonna go buy a book, who knows? I don't know, I haven't bought a book in a long time. I think since March, that's so crazy, I think I'm gonna buy a book. No, I had no idea that this was gonna be me. Really funny, life comes at you fast. If I had the patience to do one of those foreshadowing edits at the beginning of this video, I would, but I don't want to. So also I probably made that joke at the beginning of this video because that would have been funnier. That is actually gonna be it for today's video. Please comment down below a book stack emoji so I can know who stuck it out and made it all the way to this point. I'm gonna go now. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed and I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye!